I was dragged into an alley by the demon. My stepsister Sofia Martinez sobbed dramatically in her live stream with tears streaming down her face. If I could start over. I wish I could endure this instead of my sister. Capitalizing on her status as a victim's family member, she gained millions of followers and raked in massive profits. I became the family's cash cow, eventually dying from depression. When I opened my eyes again, Sofia and I had returned to that fateful day. She excitedly told me, "Emily, wait for me in the back alley after school." In our previous life, our final meeting happened in the hospital. Lying on my deathbed, I saw Sofia's carefully crafted no makeup. The pungent perfume clinging to her overpowered the sterile hospital smell as she pointed her camera at my lifeless form. Having exhausted half a bottle of eye drops to fake tears, she crooned, "Rest easy, sis. You've suffered enough. I'll take good care of our parents." Linda Brown and Michael Martinez sat weeping by my bedside, their terrible acting turning my stomach. Even in death, they sought to wring the last drop of value from me. When I regained consciousness this time, I was preparing for school. Sofia suddenly grabbed my arm. "Emily, let's go together." Her eyes glittered with barely concealed excitement, the same look she'd always worn when plotting new video content. Instantly, I knew she'd also been reborn, still determined to force me into our previous tragedy. Linda smiled at Michael behind us. "Look how close the sisters are." Turning to me, she added, "Emily, since Sofia just transferred schools, you'll accompany her daily. Keep her safe." These were the exact words she'd used last time. I'd obeyed then. When I saw Sofia being dragged into that alley, I'd rushed to intervene. While I distracted the attacker, Sofia fled. "She saved you," Linda claimed when I woke hospitalized. Later I learned rescuers found me 2 hours after the attack, though a police booth stood mere minutes away. To facilitate my care for Sofia, Linda had pulled strings to get her into my class. The social chameleon quickly befriended everyone. Classmates expressed surprise when learning we were sisters. "But your last names are different?" Sofia repeated her rehearsed line, "We use different parents' surnames." I ignored her chatter. With college entrance exams 6 months away, I needed to focus. Before the attack, I'd been top-ranked. Regaining that knowledge just required time. This rebirth, I'd use academic success as my escape route. Sofia tried several times to engage me, glancing obsessively at her watch. When the bell rang, she bolted. I followed discreetly, watching her enter the alley. Moments later, she emerged, texting me, "Emily, I'm here. Where are you?" I stared numbly as the demon from my nightmares stepped out of the shadows to stand beside Sofia. The two were whispering. When I saw that face, a chill shot up my spine. It was Jake Martinez. In my past life, the person who dragged me into utter ruin and despair was actually Sophie Martinez's brother. Memories I'd deliberately suppressed flooded back without warning. When I woke up in the hospital, the doctor suggested I get a rape kit. Linda vehemently opposed it, fabricating excuses about protecting me. Now I realized she'd known about the Martinez siblings' scheme all along. She feared I'd press charges and embarrass her. Later, Sofia gained viral fame on social media platforms as a victim's family member. Linda, intoxicated by the monetary gains, actually forced me to recount my trauma on camera. I resisted fiercely. But how could I fight against 3 adults? They starved me until I complied. My own mother made me relive that nightmare repeatedly for content, while secretly giving Jake a written forgiveness statement, yet publicly claiming she'd never forgive my attacker. This cruelty drove my depression to critical levels. I took my own life at 20. When Sofia and Jake grew impatient waiting, I finally responded to their message, "Almost there." Sofia flushed with excitement, reminding Jake to keep his face hidden. After finalizing their plan, the siblings began their act near the alley entrance, fake struggling without entering the shadows. I waited until their performance peaked before emerging. "Emily, I'm here. Come save me," Sofia cried dramatically as Jake, wearing a ski mask, dragged her backward. Want to rescue her? Take her place. That familiar voice and build. For a heartbeat, I was back in that spring evening, the cold concrete beneath me. Desperate screams echoing. A sharp pain in my palm snapped me back to reality. I'd unconsciously gripped the pocketknife I carried to protect myself from Michael Martinez. Steadying myself, I warned, I've called the police. Let her go. Jake laughed harshly. You think I scare easy? I grew up on threats. Count of 3. Take her place or I drag her in. I stood motionless, panicking at my uncharacteristic hesitation. Sophia sobbed, Emily, please. I'm so scared. Just do what he says. My heart turned to ice. Last time I'd rushed to save her. Where was she when her brother violated me? Probably laughing in some dark corner. Police sirens pierced the air. Jake got tackled mid-struggle as Sophia gaped in shock. At the station, Linda and Michael arrived after I'd finished my statement. Sophia clung to Michael, bawling incoherently while Linda comforted her. I watched the trio coldly, a detached observer to this twisted family tableau. When they learned the suspect was Jacob Martinez, Linda Brown and Michael Martinez fell silent. Michael stayed behind to handle the situation while Linda took Sophia Martinez and me home. I retreated to my room immediately. Within 10 minutes, Linda stormed in and slapped me across the face, breathing heavily with rage. You called the police? Why would you do that? They were just siblings horsing around. How am I supposed to face Michael now? Did destroying one family not satisfy you? Must you ruin this one too? Cupping my stinging cheek, I met her glare. Wasn't your affair with Michael the reason Dad divorced you? The truth hung between us, she'd repeatedly cheated during their marriage. When they divorced, David Johnson had fought for custody. But Linda insisted on keeping me only to favor Sophia. If you hate me this much, I said coldly, let me live with Dad. In my previous life, Dave had devoted himself to helping me through depression, never remarrying. He'd been my only true family. You want to go? Linda hissed, pointing at the door. Then get. No. Sophia burst in, clinging to me desperately. Aunt Linda, you can't make Emily leave. If she goes, I'm going too. The older woman froze. After a long pause, she softened her tone. Sophie. Sweetheart. Emily did something terrible. She can't stay. But she was protecting me. Sophia insisted, tears sparkling. Please, who'll help me with homework if she leaves? Linda's resistance crumbled. Pathetic, my only worth being Sophia's tutor. As they left arm in arm, Sophia chirped. Since Dad's working late, I'm sleeping with you tonight. Of course. My sweetheart. Linda cooed. I deadbolt the door, barricaded it with my rickety desk, and finally let myself tremble. When midterm results came, Sophia had jumped 100 ranks while I plummeted 200. Insisting the credit was mine, she dragged me to a celebratory dinner where I found myself seated beside Jake Martinez. Noticing my tension, Sophia smiled brightly. Since my birthday falls during finals week, we're celebrating early. You don't mind, right, Emily? My fingernails bit crescent moons into my palms. This scene mirrored my past life's disaster when I'd ruined Sophia's party after seeing Jake. She'd filmed the wreckage and posted it with a heartfelt caption. If someone cheerful like me had suffered that trauma instead, maybe they'd recover better. That video garnered millions of likes. She became known as the nation's little sister Sophie among netizens. This incident was supposed to happen a month from now. Could its premature occurrence be due to the butterfly effect? Lost in thought, Sophia Martinez said, Dad, Jake and I are building a short video channel. We might need you to collaborate on future videos. Linda Brown immediately became serious. I can't act. Wouldn't I hold you back? Sophia chuckled. Of course not. We'll have scripts ready. She started explaining the intricate details to Linda. Suddenly Sophia called out to me. Emily, how about you play a depressed girl who's been assaulted? Her eyes remained fixed on me as she spoke. I coldly refused. Sophia persisted. Your natural demeanor perfectly suits this type of character. Don't worry. I'll share the earnings with you. She'd used this exact line to manipulate me in our previous life. Linda completely trusted Sophia's words. Unaware of Sophia's actual earnings, Linda felt content with occasional small gifts. She often praised Sophia in front of me, saying we owed our comfortable life to her. But I knew those handouts barely amounted to 1% of Sophia's income. Seeing my continued silence, Linda grew anxious. This is a golden opportunity. Just say yes already. I gave her a sidelong glance. Why don't you take this wonderful opportunity yourself? With that, I stood up to leave. Sophia chased after me. Narrowing her eyes, she scrutinized me. Emily Johnson. Why won't you do it? Still hung up on your moral hang-ups? I remained expressionless, failing to read me. She softened her approach. This character could go viral. I guarantee it. I turned away. Stop wasting your time on me. Sophia shouted after me. Still clinging to your college dreams? Let's be real, even if you graduate, you'll just end up chasing paychecks anyway. Taking this shortcut could save you decades of struggle. Why be stubborn? In our past life, neither of us took the college entrance exams. They'd locked me indoors, forcing me to film endless videos capitalizing on exam season trends. Their follower count exploded through those exploitative videos. Sophia and Michael Martinez grew wealthy through pity-driven live stream sales and donations while I lost all freedom. As I pressed my lips together preparing to respond, an authoritative voice interrupted. What kind of warped philosophy is this for someone your age? Is this how your parents raised you? A tall figure strode over in 3 steps, positioning himself protectively in front of me. David Johnson. My father, whom I hadn't seen since my previous life's tragic end. After reprimanding Sophia, he led me away. At the restaurant, Dave's expression remained tense. Emily, if you want to stay with me, I'll move heaven and earth to make it happen. I shook my head. I'll be 18 soon. She can't control me after that. Dave's face darkened. How dare that girl speak to you like that? Adults must be enabling this behavior. Emily, I may not be wealthy, but I can certainly provide for you. I understood his concerns but couldn't explain my unfinished business. Remembering his financial struggles, I took him to buy lottery tickets. Dave grew flustered. Emily, we shouldn't chase get-rich-quick fantasies. We should save this money for essentials. This was typical Dave, honest. Stability-seeking. Never pinning hopes on improbable schemes. But Michael Martinez would. When I was conscious in my previous life, I heard my mom Linda Brown arguing with my stepfather Michael Martinez. Michael was a gambling addict who, after coming into money, grew dissatisfied with small-time card games and went to Macau. He lost millions overnight. When Sophia Martinez refused to bail him out, he threatened to expose my secrets. Though furious, Sophia found herself powerless against him. Relying on my memories, I selected several lottery numbers. After handing the ticket to my father David Johnson, I made him promise to keep it safe. Our Emily has lucky hands. Maybe we'll hit the jackpot this time, he said while carefully tucking away the ticket. I responded with a mysterious smile. Wouldn't that be something? David took me to dinner before bringing me home. Before leaving, he repeatedly assured me I could call him any time if I wanted to leave. The house stood empty when we returned. Hours later, the click of a lock startled me awake. Years of instinct made me grab the knife under my pillow. Jacob Martinez's irritated voice carried through the door. I thought you said this lock was easy. I've been struggling forever. When someone suggested I'd deadbolt it, he snapped, is that bitch guarding against you? Barefoot behind my makeshift barricade, I clutched the knife until my knuckles whitened. After futile attempts, Jake finally left. Only when silence returned did I notice my drenched back. Nobody seemed aware of Jake's break-in attempt. Sophia stopped pestering me about filming videos, instead demanding tutoring. I obliged. During mid-terms, Sophia jumped 50 rankings while I maintained my position. Linda beamed brighter than lottery winners. I always knew Sophie was special. she crowed. Look, Emily's stagnating while our girl soars. Sophia glanced at me uncomfortably. I just didn't want attention before, as Linda bustled to cook celebration steaks. Sophie dragged me upstairs, shoving cash into my hands. Our little exam arrangement stays between us. Sis. Wouldn't want mommy dearest disappointed. Mommy? That fraud? I pocketed the money silently. Don't worry, she added. I'll keep Jake in check until graduation. So she'd known all along. But temporary safety sufficed. Predictably, Sophia leapt another 50 spots in finals, breaking into the top 200. At parent-teacher night, Linda claimed Sophie's seat, bragging to anyone listening, "Our Sophie's got my grit." Our teacher watched this charisma with a pained expression. When Linda left without acknowledging me, the educator pulled me aside. "Emily, your future matters most. Come to me if you need help." I thanked her solemnly, vowing silently, "Watch me rise from these ashes." In reality, I didn't let her down either. Before the college entrance exam results were released, my mom, Linda Brown, had already informed relatives and friends about hosting an admissions celebration. A relative remarked, "Setting the date so soon? But then again, even if Emily doesn't do well, she'll still get into a top-tier university." Mom paused. "Emily? This celebration is for my daughter Sophia. The Martinez family's Sophia?" Of course, Emily dropped out of the top 500 in her final mock exams. She can't hold a candle to Sophia. The relative called her crazy for favoring a stepchild over her own. Linda shrugged. "Just wait and see. Sophia's the one who'll give me a comfortable life someday." When the results came out, Linda stared at the screen in disbelief. This must be a system error? How could it be this low? She frantically refreshed the page multiple times, only to see the same numbers. "Emily, check yours." As I reached for Sophia's exam ID, Linda snapped, "Check your own. I lost my admission ticket." "What?" she exploded. "How could you lose something so important? Why don't you lose yourself too?" I lowered my head, hiding a smile. My ticket wasn't lost, it was safely with my dad, David Johnson. I didn't need to check because Peking University's admissions office had already called him. The atmosphere turned icy at home. Sophia stayed unusually quiet until her father, Michael Martinez, returned. Then the act dropped. "Dad, it's not my fault. Even the best stumble. Besides, college isn't the only path." Michael, who'd been bragging about his daughter all week, felt publicly humiliated. He slapped Sophia, shouting, "Earn money? How? With what skills?" Sophia tearfully showed her phone. "Look, my social media account. These are my earnings. These are my followers." Michael's anger melted as he scrolled. "This earns more than my salary. That's my girl." Initially skeptical, Linda peered over and gasped. "This much? Who needs college? My Sophie's brilliant." Sophia masked her disgust. She needed Linda's support for now. With Sophia safe, Linda turned her rage on me. At dinner, she sent me to buy soy sauce despite an open bottle on the counter. When I returned, my belongings were dumped outside our apartment. Leaning from the second-floor window, Linda spat. "Useless college dropout. Should have sent you to starve with your pauper father." Neighbors gathering for evening walks watched uncomfortably as she shouted, 18 years of my life wasted on you." I stood motionless, clutching the soy sauce bottle, and smiled. "My mother, Linda Brown, snapped. She's nothing but a troublemaker who even seduced her own stepfather. If I hadn't caught them in time, this family would have been ruined." At that moment, my blood ran cold as suppressed memories came flooding back. In my previous life, when Michael Martinez first broke into my room, I'd screamed through tears. Linda rushed out immediately. But instead of helping, she slapped me while shouting vulgar accusations. How could any mother be so heartless? When I glared at her, she tossed a garbage bag that spilled over my belongings. "Keep staring and I'll gouge your eyes out," she threatened. I asked calmly, Are you severing our mother-daughter bond? Damn right. You're nothing but bad luck. She spat. Pressing my lips. I requested. Then please write an official declaration relinquishing parental rights. With 1 month until my 18th birthday. I needed legal assurance she couldn't change her mind. She eagerly threw down a notarized document. Her haste to disown me palpable. As I picked up the paper bearing her thumbprint, my father David Johnson emerged from the crowd dressed in sharp business attire. Transformed from his usual casual self. Linda stared dumbfounded until Dave declared, "Thank you for returning my daughter. We'll stay out of each other's lives from now on." Regaining composure, Linda sneered. "Think wearing a suit makes you rich? Take your cursed brat and disappear." Instead of leaving immediately, Dave carefully gathered my discarded possessions. "These are yours," he said gently. "They don't belong in trash." We loaded everything into his new car. Closing the car door, I spotted Jacob Martinez watching us from the gate. His expression ominous. For the first time in 2 lifetimes, I breathed freely. Smiling genuinely. I felt true relief escaping those demons. Noticing my expression, Dave grinned. "You'll never suffer again. Emily. I want to invest your contest winnings into starting a business, what do you think?" We'd indeed won big. The lottery ticket I'd insisted on buying yielded $500. 000. When Dave tried giving me all the money, I reinvested part into more tickets that won additional tens of thousands. Remembering how he'd built a successful company from scratch in my past life to rescue me, I fully supported this venture. Last time, Linda had demanded $200. 000 ransom for my freedom, forcing him to work himself sick establishing his company, though I died before he could save me. "Dad," I began. Seeing his anxious face. Then beaming, I added, "I was just thinking about where to rent office space." His booming laughter filled the car as we drove toward our new future. I thought I'd never see the Martinez family again. Unexpectedly, we crossed paths soon after. My father, David Johnson, wanted to throw me a college celebration party. I didn't see the point. But he insisted. "Your old man hasn't had much to be proud of in this life. You're my pride and joy. I want everyone in 3 counties to know my Emily Johnson is the best." Unable to dissuade him, I relented. On the day of the celebration, even villagers who usually avoided us showed up. One man taunted Dave. "You're divorced now. Why still fund this party for your ex-wife's good-for-nothing kid?" My father corrected him sternly. "Emily is my daughter. Not some good-for-nothing." The heckler sneered. "Your daughter? Your ex already ran off with someone. That girl's probably a Martinez now." I recognized him, the same man who'd shamelessly flirted with Linda Brown when she lived here. Never showing Dave basic respect. We hadn't invited him. Glancing at my grandmother's guilty expression, I understood immediately. Though well-meaning, her lack of social awareness had caused this. I confronted the man. "Still keeping in touch with Dad's ex? Surprising, considering how she mocked your incompetence." His face flushed crimson. "What nonsense. Who's more pathetic than your father here? Dad might not be perfect, but he's my biological parent. What about you?" His mouth snapped shut like a trap. Dave signaled Grandma, who swiftly dragged the heckler out. "This is my granddaughter's big day. Take your drama elsewhere." The man returned later with backup. Sneering. "Look who I brought." Our faces fell simultaneously. Grandma intercepted them first. "I never invited you lot. Get lost." There stood Linda Brown, or should I say, Mrs. Martinez. She examined her diamond ring disdainfully. "Who wants your peasant food? Where's the lobster thermidor?" I noticed their entire group was dressed in designer labels. Linda, Sophie Martinez, and Jacob Martinez epitomizing nouveau riche excess. Sophie approached with a saccharine smile, attempting to link arms. I sidestepped. "Still mad, Emily?" she cooed. "We came to celebrate. Which college did you get into? Anyway?" Linda chimed in. "Yes. What's your SAT score?" "None of your business." But you're my daughter. I reminded her coldly. We terminated that legal relationship. By what right do you ask? Sophie interjected hastily. Don't be dramatic. Aunt Linda still cares. I arched an eyebrow. Is that so? Aunt Linda? Mrs. Linda Brown instantly bristled. Aunt Linda? I'm your mother. Stop changing the subject. Answer me, what college did she even get into that's worth throwing such a lavish banquet? Michael Martinez, Sophia's father, sneered from the side. I asked around and nobody's heard about Emily's admission. Maybe he can't afford her tuition and cooked up this scheme to collect red envelopes. The crowd erupted in murmurs, turning to bombard Mr. David Johnson with questions. Some even believed the accusations, thinking Dave was running a scam. Unnoticed, Dave had stepped onto the stage. Holding the microphone, he calmly declared, "My apologies for not informing everyone sooner. The truth is, my Emily here has been admitted to a top-tier university." Jacob Martinez shouted from the crowd. Big words. Where's the admission letter? Some top-tier school? Even my Sophia didn't get into those. Linda's mocking laughter died abruptly when Dave produced the official Tsinghua University acceptance letter. Sophia was first to react. Impossible. This has to be fake. Standing beside her, Emily smiled coolly. Congratulations, you still didn't make it. Her eyes widened in shock before she stammered. You've also been reborn? With innocent confusion, Emily replied. I don't understand what you mean. As Dave motioned Emily to join him on stage, Emily passed by Sophia hearing her whisper. But she was supposed to be eternally damned. How? After the celebration, the entire neighborhood regarded Dave with newfound respect. He proudly called Emily his lucky star to anyone who'd listen. Meanwhile, Sophia became obsessed with Emily's resurgence, discovering Dave's lottery win that funded his success. She abandoned college to focus on her social media channel, even hiring a depressed college student to portray Emily's previous life's struggles. Their family upgraded to a luxury penthouse, with Linda dripping in gold jewelry. When Emily returned during her junior year for Spring Festival, Dave showed her the new home he'd bought for her, your private sanctuary. Even after marriage, the Martinez clan reappeared in Emily's life like bad pennies. Jacob, now embodying the obnoxious Martinez family air, swaggered up to her. New here? Sweet cheeks? Don't recall seeing you around. Emily sidestepped his advance. None of your business. Feisty. Wait, you look familiar. Years of proper nutrition and inner peace had transformed Emily beyond recognition. Even Dave almost missed her at the airport. Undeterred, Jacob preened. Know who I am? Everyone here recognizes the Martinez heir. Meeting his gaze blankly, Emily countered. And? The unspoken challenge hung in the air as their reborn rivalry entered its newest chapter. He probably didn't expect me to react so coldly. He frowned. That's the eldest son of the Martinez family. Do you even know who Jacob Martinez is? His desperate attempt to flaunt wealth to prove himself seemed both clueless and ridiculous. I couldn't help but chuckle softly. His eyes flickered with surprise. And he actually reached out to grab me. Emily, come home with me. I've got money, tons of it. If you want, it'll all be yours someday. Just as he was about to touch me, I stepped back. At the same moment, a large hand shoved him away. It was my dad, David Johnson. He barked at Jake. What do you think you're doing? Only then did Jake realize who I was. He smirked and said, So it's you. Seeing my dad step forward, he wisely retreated, tossing over his shoulder. We'll meet again soon. My dad scowled. Why'd we run into that jerk? From his explanation, we both realized the Martinez family lived in the same neighborhood. I stifled a laugh. Dad grumbled. The startup's been keeping me swamped, in and out before dawn every day. Never noticed they were here. Then, hesitating, he added, if you hate sharing the neighborhood with them, we can sell the house. No need. I said. They won't last here much longer anyway. Why? He asked. I grinned. That's a secret. That night, an unknown number texted me, "So what if you're reborn? You're still beneath me." Honestly, I should thank you. If you hadn't lost your mind in your past life, I'd never have gotten such great material. I read the messages several times before replying, "Enjoy your good days while they last." After all, her good days were about to end. Sophia Martinez's live streams grew increasingly popular. But her greed soon outpaced her morals. She began skirting legal lines. The college student she'd hired to play a depressed patient had spiraled mentally from the prolonged act. Desperate to reclaim a normal life, the girl asked to quit. Sophia, of course, refused to let go of her cash cow. She blackmailed the student with compromising photos, most taken by Jake during his coercive encounters with her. But Sophia never expected the girl to fight back. After the threats, the student exposed everything online, live streams, essays, the whole rotten truth behind Sophia's victim family persona. Outraged netizens reported her en masse. Sophia's accounts got banned. The student then gathered evidence and sued Jake. With their income severed, Sophia's father Michael Martinez took to beating her, demanding she earn money again. Linda Brown, now accustomed to luxury, found poverty unbearable. Their lives became pure misery. After the Chinese New Year, I prepared to return to campus. 2 days before leaving, I bumped into Linda downstairs. Gone was her polished appearance, she'd reverted to her old, frayed clothes. She rushed at me, eyes bright. "Emily. It's me. Mom." I sidestepped her grasping hands and nodded politely. "Linda." She froze. "Linda? I'm your mother. You're the one who cut ties." I reminded her. "Now if you'll excuse me. I have errands." I walked away, leaving her standing there alone. Under normal circumstances, if I spoke to her like this, she would have thrown a fit. But today, she softened her tone. "Those were just angry words from Linda. As an honor student, can't you tell the difference?" "Mrs. Brown," I countered. "That certificate you gave me has been notarized. It's legally binding. Are you suggesting we break the law?" Her face finally paled. How did this get so serious? I didn't want to prolong the conversation and moved past her. After a few steps, Sophia Martinez charged at me furiously. "Was it you who reported me?" "Playing dumb." I shrugged. "I don't know what you're talking about. It had to be you who reported my account. You're jealous of my success. Admit it." "Hardly," I said coldly. "All your dirty money and shady deals will catch up with you eventually." Sophia lunged to hit me, but I sidestepped smoothly. Her momentum carried her straight into Linda, and the two women immediately began clawing at each other. Years of resentment poured out as they tumbled to the ground. "I should have finished you off last time," Sophia screamed, her nails raking Linda's arms. "Did you know? My dad bought my mom a villa. We're selling the penthouse to move in with her." Linda froze mid-scratch. "You're selling my home?" Sophia sneered. "Your home? That's Martinez family property. My parents never legally divorced. By the way." The color drained from Linda's face. "I'll kill you. I'll kill you all," she shrieked, her manicured hands trembling. Later, Dave Johnson told me the Martinez family had indeed sold the property behind Linda's back. They vanished with the proceeds, leaving her destitute. Last anyone heard, she'd been spotted scavenging near the old neighborhood just once. The Martinez clan spent their windfall keeping Jake out of prison for his hit and run. But when the victim's family refused settlement offers, his death sentence became inevitable. As for Sophia, after one too many beatings from Michael Martinez, she disappeared without a trace. At my graduation ceremony, Dave offered me the reins to Johnson Enterprises. His company had ballooned from a 12-person startup to a 200-employee firm. "Not big enough for my Ivy League daughter?" he joked, scratching his salt and pepper beard. I hugged my father tight. This time, I want to spread my wings. No longer caged. I finally understood what true freedom meant. The sky stretched endlessly before me, waiting.